Coach give an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions. Please wait till the mic comes to ask your question. Coach?
I thought that was a really good college baseball game. Emerson Gibbs threw the ball great. That kid's really good. I thought we were fortunate to kind of be able to push them across there early on them, and we didn't have a ton of opportunities. I was really proud of Justin, how he threw the ball today, especially that last inning when he was starting to tire. And I was really proud of this whole ball club. They played loose, they played hard, they looked like they were having fun, and they were doing kind of what we've been doing the last couple of months.
Justin, for somebody that hadn't seen you all year, was that your best outing, or was it right at the top?
Yeah, it was one of my better ones for sure. I basically had all four going. The changeup, if the changeup was there a little bit better, I think I would have been able to get a little deeper in the game. But I felt like I had pretty good fastball command, which was big. I was able to pitch in and kind of jam him a little bit, but I definitely felt like it was a good outing.
Nick, from your perspective, seeing Justin kind of grow in this starting role here down the stretch, how have you seen him progress to this point where he can go on to regional and just shut down a really good offensive team?
Right. Well, I mean, Justin goes out there and competes. Since the first day I met him, freshman year, that's what he's been doing. He just realized he's got to back off a little bit. I mean, I think he's pitched today at 92, 94, touching 96. I mean, I think that's the best thing he's done. Is realize that if he can get us into that seventh inning, then we have a chance to win any baseball game in the country. So I think definitely him backing off and pitching instead of – because obviously he can get up to 98 and be a dominant closer, but him backing off and pitching, I think, was what really made him step to the next level.
Justin, did you feel like you were getting tired because you were still throwing 94, 95 in the seventh inning? I mean,
Yes, sir. I definitely felt like I was getting tired. That sixth inning took a lot out of me. There's a little point there where I thought I wasn't even going to be able to go out for the seventh, but in these kind of games, the adrenaline takes over, and that's definitely what happened there in the seventh. I knew if I could get through the seventh clean and turn the ball over to Bobby Skogsberg, we had a pretty good chance of finishing that game up. And so I just went out and tried to grind through the seventh and give us a chance to win.
Donovan, you came, I think, within inches of a home run to get it going. What was the pitch you saw there? And then it seemed like you guys took advantage of all of your scoring opportunities today. How much did that help?
I think it helped pretty well. I was going up there, like Coach Gambino says, or Coach Saul, two-strike approach, just fight, and I just got a pitch to hit and turned on it.
I don't think you guys left anybody, partially on getting guys thrown out on base, but I don't think you left anybody on base through scoring 6 runs. How is that kind of your style? How much did that help?
It is. It's pretty much our style. We make sure, like, we take pride in making sure that we take advantage of our opportunities. So when there's a base runner on, we kind of go up there with the mindset that we're going to move them and then let the next hitter take care of them. As long as the hitters do their job, we have a great chance to win a ball game.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about your team. Not a big media presence down here for your team, small crowd. I mean, you guys kind of rallying among yourselves to win these games?
It might have been a small crowd, but that crowd looked like they were having fun. That was a pretty good group we had with us. That was fun to watch, to see that the people that did travel down here with us and the families. And it was also really cool to see how many of them were wearing freight train gear, a lot of Pete Frady's gear out in the stands. So it wasn't a huge, it wasn't the biggest crowd, but Oxford's a tough place to fly into also, right? So we were just excited to see those fans that did make the trip. It means a lot to these boys. And more than anything, these boys are just kind of concerned with being with each other. It's such a closely knit group. On top of that, we get to play in this town of Oxford. I mean, these fans have been unbelievable since the moment we got here. We boys have been talking about it everywhere we're going. The people are welcoming and being nice. So playing in front of these fans here right now is just as much fun.
Coach, what did you see on the play to right field in the sixth inning, the ball that came out of his glove or whatever? What did you see on that play?
Yeah, I thought they got the call right. It was a weird one, a little bit of a funky one, and I didn't have the best angle on it. But the second base umpire did a great job. He was right out there. He was right on top of it. from my angle, I could see it looked funky. If they had called that a catch, I would have wanted to talk about it. It looked weird, looked funky. It never looked like he really had control. I thought he was right on it, and he was exactly where he needed to be to make the call. So it was a weird one, but I think they got it right.
Coach, is this kind of what you have come to expect from this team offensively from an opportunism standpoint, I suppose? I mean, it seems like, you know, every time you guys had runners on base or they made a mistake, it seemed like you capitalized.
We know as a ball club, we've talked about it, honestly, since these boys were freshmen, right? What are we going to be built on? We're going to pitch it. We're going to play defense. We're going to play extremely hard. We're going to give you quality at bats. We're going to situationally hit, and we're going to do a good job with 2 strikes. That's what we've been talking about since they were young. And you look at the at-bats in this ball game, starting in the third, Jake Palamaki's situational AB. You look at scores; he's ended up being a hit with the infield in, but a situational at-bat there. You look at, Mock's, I don't know how many pitches that was, 12, 13 pitches? 13 pitches, yeah. 2-strike at-bat. The boys are confident that they know they can execute in those spots. So it's not surprising to me to see. If you look at a lot of the games we lost, a Friday night at Clemson or a Friday night against Florida State, they had 2 chances, got the hit. We had 2 chances, we didn't. That's what happens. So it's fun watching these boys in these spots. They get confident with 2 strikes. They get confident in situational at bats.
Justin, Tulane has struck out a ton this year, and you're a strikeout pitcher anyway. Was that part of the scouting report that you could either get those guys to chase pitches or sometimes they take pitches on 2 strikes because I think they've set a school record for strikeouts in a year.
We knew going in they were an aggressive team, but I wouldn't say pitch for the punch out was our game plan going in. Honestly, with me, I try to get outs quick early in the count, and that's what helps me get deep in the game. So just being able to miss barrels was huge, but there were a couple times where I would have rather had a ground ball instead of a punch out. But we knew they were an aggressive team, and we knew they were going to get their swing, so it was just making our pitches and hoping they missed them.
Hey, Justin, you show a lot of poise out there on the mound and even in interviews. Where'd that come from?
I think it came from growing up, watching Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter. Those were my 2 idols growing up, and you see Mariano on the mound, you'd never know if he blew 3 saves in a row coming out for his 4th. And Jeter, you can't say enough about Jeter. He's the same guy every day. So those are 2 guys that I looked up to, and I think that's where it comes from.
And, Coach, is that something that you've seen in Justin since he first arrived? Has he always been this poised on the mound?
Scores, you want to take that one? Justin has done a great job growing and maturing. He's a super competitor, right? And he's been a super competitor since he's arrived at Boston College, and a lot of it was learning how to put that in the right spot and channel that the right way, and everything he's done throughout his career as far as development and working with Coach Foster, who I believe is one of the best pitching coaches in the country, and Scorsy working with him and making sure that's channeled the right way. He's a super competitive kid, and grown and matured into that poised competitor that you see now.
Coach, getting Casey back here at just the right time, how much will that mean for you? I mean, I know he was supposed to be a big part of the game plan here this year, right?
Yeah, what he does for us offensively is huge. What he does for us as far as the life and the energy that he brings to the game, he plays tremendously hard. And the boys that have filled in those 6 weeks have done an unbelievable job, right? Sort of Gabriel, Anthony, that whole crew, Dom Hardaway, that filled those spots to help us get here. Those guys are huge, and when we found out that it was going to be 6 weeks, what the timing was when we were going to get him back, that was all the talk in the clubhouse was let's get to the postseason, get Donald back, get him some more ABs this year. And you see the confidence that all the boys have in him. Everybody knew he was going to come out here and give us good at-bats right away. So it's a huge part of our ball club, and it's a huge part of our lineup. And he's a great defender in right field as well. So it's a huge shot in the arm for this ball club, getting him back in there.
Justin, I think this is my last question for you, but how did, growing up in New York, how did you end up in Boston, and what's that kind of like for you, being a Yankees fan, in Boston?
I mean, you can ask scores. Our freshman year, we would go to games a decent amount, and of course, I had my Yankee hat on, and they didn't like that too much. But I think I ended up here because Coach showed a lot of interest, and he was a person that I could trust. And then you step up on our campus, and it's hard not to fall in love with our campus. And you look at our conference, we're playing against some of the best competition in the country, and then going to BC, you had a chance to play right away, and that was something that I was looking for. I could have went somewhere else and sat for 3 years, or came in and had the opportunity to play right away and have an impact on a team. And I just think that the city of Chestnut Hill and the campus was beautiful, and it's close to home. I have a little brother. He can come see me play, and it was just nice to have that and still be playing good competitive baseball.
Anything else? Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.